You know, when you think about it, the whole business of event venues, it feels timeless, right? But what if I told you that the most successful venues of the future, they're not just going to be beautiful buildings? Nope, they're going to be powerful tech platforms. And today, we're going to dig into this massive digital shift that's happening, kind of right under our noses.
I mean, we've all been there, haven't we? You walk into a stunning barn, or maybe an elegant ballroom, a beautiful vineyard. You can almost smell the flowers, right? These gorgeous spaces, they're really the heart and soul of the celebration industry. And honestly, it feels like there's one on every corner. But here's the twist. A beautiful venue? That's common. But a venue that is strategically and operationally smart? Well, that's something else entirely. It's incredibly rare. And that intelligence, as we're about to see, is quickly becoming the difference between thriving and just barely surviving. Okay, so before we jump into the future, we've got to understand the past. Let's take a look at the classic venue business model. It's been solid for a long time, but, well, it's starting to show its age. You know, for the longest time, the playbook was super simple. A venue made its money by renting out the space itself, charging some hosting fees, and maybe upselling you on some in-house catering or decor. It was pretty direct, a real one-and-done kind of transaction.
But here is the really crucial point. That old model, it's just running out of road. In the world we live in now, this super connected world, just being a beautiful box for a one-time event, that's not a strong enough strategy anymore. It's definitely not enough to guarantee success in the long run.
And this is where we get to the future. It's a complete reimagining of what a venue can even be. The big shift here is from thinking about it as just a physical place to seeing it as a digital network. So, what is a platform venue exactly? Well, think of it like this. It's a business that stops just being a simple service provider and starts acting more like a central hub. It becomes the one point that connects everybody, the couple, all their guests, the photographer, the florist, you name it, everyone involved in that celebration. When you put them side by side like this, the shift becomes crystal clear, right? The old way was all about control and that one-time sale, but this new platform model, it's all about facilitating things, about building a community. You're not just selling a room for a day anymore. Now you're managing this whole vibrant ecosystem that keeps creating value long after the party's over. Okay, here's a really great way to get your head around this. Think of it less like a hotel, a place you just use for a night and then leave. It's much more like a social network, like a Facebook or an Instagram. But it's designed specifically for connecting people and building relationships around life's biggest moments. All right, so I know what you're thinking. This all sounds great in theory, but what does it actually mean for the business? Like, how does this new model create real, tangible value? And let's be honest, more revenue. So this value gets unlocked in basically 4 key stages. First up, you use digital tools to completely streamline the booking process. Just get rid of all the friction for couples. Second, you start integrating your suppliers. You build this curated ecosystem of partners like photographers and caterers. Third, and this part is a total game changer, you start engaging the guests. Every guest becomes a potential future client. And finally, number 4, the relationship doesn't just stop when the wedding is over. Nope, it keeps going. With anniversaries, other milestones, you get the picture. So the big takeaway here, the really crucial point, is that the focus completely shifts. It moves away from that single high-value transaction to maximizing the long-term relationship with that customer. You're not just booking one wedding, you're basically acquiring a customer for life. And this isn't just about making more money either. When you adopt a platform model like this, you're actually creating a really powerful, defensible competitive advantage. It's what people in the business world, especially investors, call a moat around your business. So let's break down what that moat actually is. For one thing, a competitor can't just come along and copy your network of trusted suppliers and happy clients. It's not that easy. That network then becomes its own referral engine, which is awesome because it means you spend way less on marketing. And on top of all that, every single interaction generates data, which lets you make smarter, data-driven decisions that your competitors just can't. Okay, so this all leads us to what I think is the single most important idea in this whole discussion. What is the real barrier to entry in the venue industry today? And there it is. Physical space is a commodity. Network intelligence is a strategic moat. Think about that. Anyone with enough money can build a beautiful building. That's just a commodity. But building an intelligent, engaged, loyal network of people, That is a deep strategic moat that's going to protect your business for years and years. All right, let's bring this all home. What we're talking about here isn't just some passing trend. This is a fundamental reframing of the entire business. And just to be super clear, this doesn't mean that having a beautiful space doesn't matter anymore. Of course it does. The winning venues of the future will be the ones that combine both: an absolutely excellent physical space paired with a really powerful layer of digital and networked intelligence. And that brings us to the final critical question for you to think about. And honestly, this applies to pretty much any business, not just venues. Are you running a venue business, or are you running a celebration platform business? The answer to that question, well, it could change absolutely everything.